Hey everybody, it's Pamela Clark and my husband,
Kerry Clark. Yes.
Welcome back. We're so glad to see you for yet again another episode of When Ordinary is No Longer Enough, Life Growth Area number 2, Your Work. We're going to be talking about direction, right? What direction are you going in when it comes to your work habits, your work ethics, your behavior? So Kerry, only give us a snippet because the podcast follows.
All right, so this episode is on your direction, setting a course. What direction are you headed? It's the question that we want to ask, that we want you to think about, so that you don't just drift through life. See, when you drift through life, that means you can end up anywhere. And mostly, you end up in a place you never intended to end up. So we're going to help you in this episode kind of formulate that question in your mind so that you end up somewhere on purpose.
Which goes back to the previous episode about having a plan.
That's right.
So if you didn't get the chance to watch that episode, go back, take a look at it, because it's all going to tie together. But anyway, you're here now, so hang tight. Join us for this podcast that follows, talking about your direction, and we'll see you just as soon as it's done.
Great. What direction are you headed? Being uncommon in your work, your business, your career isn't a step of courage. It's just a different step. Let's think about that for a minute. Most people think it takes courage to do something that they've never done, when in reality, all it takes is for you to take a different route or a different step or a step you've never taken before. While there are some actions that do require courage, this is not one that requires any or much at all. All it requires is you to take a step you've never taken before. Think about that. For me to change my course in how I work, where I work, what job I take, my business ideas, the business that I'm in, the industry that I'm in, or the career that I'm achieving, the career that I'm pursuing, all it takes is just one different step. If each time you take a step outside of what normal people do, then success is inevitable. But if you go the way of everyone else, that means you'll become normal. That means you become average, mediocre. That means you will look at your life as unsuccessful because you didn't achieve anything no one else could achieve. We are all stepping in a direction that takes us somewhere. But if we take the same energy and apply it in a different direction, we will have different results. You're going to take a step whether you want to or not. That's what life is about, taking steps. The question is, will you step behind someone else's path or in the same path of someone else, or will you tread in a different direction, creating a new path, one that someone else must follow? The question simply is this: will you be a follower of what's already existing, or the path that's already been carved out, or will you be daring enough? Will you be, I'm going to say it for lack of a better term, courageous enough to step off of the path, which doesn't require much courage, doesn't require courage at all. It's just to step off the path that someone else is taking so that you can take a different course using the same energy that you were going to take anyway, so that you can have results that no one else has. The reason I say it's just as simple as taking a different step is because the energy that it takes. It takes no more energy to step to the right than it does to the left. It takes no more energy to make a move in one direction versus the other direction. We're not going to talk about what kind of course it is and how clear the path is and what you can see down the road. We're just going to talk about that one step, and one small step that you need to make that'll change your life, your course, your work, your business, your career, pursuits in a different direction. The goal is work like no one else works, have ethics like very few have, and have the career that usually doesn't happen to normal people. That's what this is about. That's what when ordinary is no longer enough is all about. So that you don't have to end up like the same old ordinary people whom you watch day in and day out, that you already see where their life is headed. What I want for you is to have a life that's headed in a direction that's an adventure, one that sets the course for someone else, a life that moves heaven and earth, the people around you, that transforms your family, that transforms your friends, that transforms you. As Jim Rohn would say, have a life that makes something of you. He taught a lecture about becoming a millionaire. He says you don't want to become a millionaire just because you want money. You want to become a millionaire because of what it will make of you. And I'm saying you want to take an uncommon step, not because you want to be just uncommon, but you want to make a different step because of what it will make of you. You want to be something different, something unique, something that the world has never seen. And so again, I'll leave you with this thought. What direction are you headed? Are you headed down the most clear-cut path that everyone else is headed? Or are you headed in a direction that no one has so that you can have the results that no one does?
Hey, so now you have a little bit of a better understanding about life growth area number 2, your direction. Your direction. We hope we were able to help give you some direction, right? And help guide you along that narrow path. Tied it back to the episode before this. Anyway, hope that you enjoyed it. Certainly do hope that there were some takeaways that you guys plan to use and implement where you can in your life. And you know, as always, we would love for y'all to share this podcast. Go out and visit our website. We've got some great resources that will help navigate you through the process. One being our family plan. We talked a little bit about that in our previous episode because I'm recognizing that sometimes starting with a plan, sitting down, starting that process can be a little bit difficult. So we've got one that we use daily for our family. So we've shared a lot of information with you about that. So we hope that you find that as a useful resource. And then, of course, everything that you're hearing in these podcasts actually come from the first book that Kerry and I actually did.
That's right.
So visit us at kerryaclark.com. You'll find the book there. We encourage you to get it, right? Just so that you can have that handy and reference it when you need to and highlight it, jot in it. Ask us questions, y'all. Shoot us some questions if you have any about any of our episodes. Kerry loves to address and answer any questions that you have. So we're just very appreciative that y'all are here, and thanks for allowing us to share some of our life lessons with y'all, some takeaways. Kerry, any closing remarks before we go?
I have 2 things I'd like to say. The first one is I appreciate you saying that. I do like to answer questions, and generally when I answer them, I always refer people back to things we've already written about so that they can have something to take away with them. So we have so much content that we can share because we write on everything that has to do with life. And she mentioned planning, and of course, your direction, is the last episode in life growth area number 2, but it has to do with planning, setting a course, setting your direction, and there's no way to do it without having a plan. If you don't plan, you plan to fail in that area, and in this case, it's in work.
But you know what though? Planning doesn't have to be something that scares you or even be that deep, right? Because it's not. I mean, my plan doesn't have to match your plan, doesn't have to match the next person's plan, and so forth. Everybody's plan or path to reach their goal is different. The point, I think, of everything is that you have a plan, that you have some direction to go in, just so you're not all over the place.
One thing you'll hear us speak about quite often is how to set a course, and it's no different than how we set directions even in a car. Your car is in one place, but you're trying to get to another. And what your GPS does is just sets a plan on how to get there. Even if you get off course, it recalculates the plan so that you get to where you're going. And that's what we want to do even in life. We want to
Y'all
set
know
up
what? Y'all, this is so not even scripted that we're just sitting here. I was just kind of like thinking about it. We're just sitting here chit-chatting.
Yes.
So not scripted. None of this is written down. So we really do hope that you understand we're speaking from our heart and from experience. So we hope that y'all enjoy it. And we've got more content coming. And look forward to sharing it with y'all. Visit us at KerryAClark.com. All of our links are there to some of our blog posts and all kinds of things. So visit, let us know, and share.
Yep. We're honored to serve you in this way. That's what we do. Thanks for joining us.
See y'all later.
All right, here we go. S2E6, your direction. Intro, not to be confused with outro. In 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. No. Anyway.
Was this the script?
No, I was just letting you know what you got. What you target. It didn't take long, did it? Anyway, outro to S2E6, as it says here, knows your direction. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and